What's up, guys? Ash from Imagineyourgoddess. I'm back today with another deck profile. As you may or may not have known, this past Friday, the Liberator and Eradicator trial decks were released in English. And, that's pretty cool, but unfortunately those decks don't have a lot of support. But I went ahead and made an Eradicator deck anyway. I believe Koheleth or maybe a special guest will be doing a Liberator deck, and yeah, we got a few bits of content coming to you, and then near the end of the month we'll be having a big BT10 festival, if you will, where I will be opening a case and possibly Diesel, and we'll build a bunch of decks from that. I plan to be doing at least the Celestial deck, and Diesel and a bunch of other guests will probably be doing the rest of the decks. Anyway, moving on with this deck profile, my starter is Lizard Soldier Saishin. You can really, there's not really any Eradicator choice you have, and this is just kind of like a weaker version of, there's an Eradicator card, the name escapes me right now, but it basically essentially does the same thing. If I come upon it, let's see, then I'll kind of... Linchu, that's who it is. Linchu does the exact same thing as this card, which when your Vanguard, when an attack hits the Vanguard of this unit boost, you can counterblast one, put it in Soul, and kill a grade 0, but Linchu is an Eradicator version of this that kills a grade 1, or has the ability to kill a grade 1 as well, and it's a lot better. Of course, Linchu has to boost an Eradicator, but that's my starter. I have it because he's a 5k booster, but you can run the grade 3 searcher too, if you will. Moving on to grade 0s, I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crits. Like I've talked about before, we're getting into a archetype format, and you want to run as much of the archetype units as you can. And right now it's not as important, but I'm doing this mainly so I can get used to it, this kind of lineup. Really though, you could do 6 crit, 6 draw, 6 crit, 6 stand, or rainbow if you want, but I feel like these are the most useful, and Narukami isn't known for plussing itself either way. Then moving on, I run 4 of the Eradicator draw trigger, mainly because it's an Eradicator and you need plus in Narukami, or rather it's nice to plus. Then of course the heal trigger, which I believe all the triggers from Eradicators and Liberators are actually just the older ones from the decks and upgraded. But either way, that's pretty cool. And this is that to sack, heal, and whatnot. Then I run 4 golds. The format we're in, just in general, you want to run 4 perfect shields, and the Eradicator perfect shield isn't out yet, so I'm running this one. And it's really not that bad. I mean, I'm just thinking of it as like, oh, I'm playing Prism or something, and Prism doesn't have its own shield either. Then I run 4 Deathstorm Eradicator Toko. It's pretty cool. 7k, he's a 7k base, that's why I run him, but Counterblast 1 plus 1000, and that's nifty for some things. But yeah, it's just mainly for his 7k base. Then I run Eradicator Demolition Dragon, and he is your 10k attacker. It's pretty cool. It's pretty useful. He hits most of units, the Arn 11 of course, 11 plus rather, and it's good for rushing, which is what I like about archetypes. Then I run 2 Eradicator of the Fire, Kokaji. You can run any other thing really, but again I run him because it's an Eradicator deck. I'm trying to keep as much Eradicators as possible. He's a 6k that becomes a 10k Vanguard booster if the opponent is at 3 or more damage. So that's pretty cool. Most of the time it's really easy to get them to that amount of damage fairly fast with archetypes because you're rushing, of course. Moving on to grade 2s, I run for the 10k vanillas. This is an Eradicator. He looks pretty cool. I forgot what the 10k vanilla was before for Narukami because I didn't really play Narukami, but either way, I'm pretty sure this dragon looks a lot cooler. 10k vanilla, you want to ride that and all. And I run the 12k Eradicator attacker. Another reason why there's so many Eradicators, I want to get the 12k and 10k attackers off. And that's good for rushing as well. Then I run 3 Draconic Death Scythes. This is mainly, you could say it's a tech option, and you could run an Eradicator. I think there's an 11k attacker or something. But I run him because, well, he gets rid of pesky things that I don't want on the field. The Vanguard booster or whatever. Because there's, as you've seen so far, I don't have a lot of removal for the back row. And he's mainly to like spot like the 10k Vanguard boosters or whatever else is really annoying that I want to get rid of to pay 2 Counterblast. And I don't really use a lot of Counterblast in this deck essentially anyway, so you always can use him. Then I run, for grade 3s, I run 4 Eradicator Valiant Sword Dragon. I actually wasn't expecting to buy 4 of this trial deck. It's kind of a word of caution to you guys. If you can get trial decks below, let's say, 20 in your area, it's probably a better idea to buy the trial decks rather than the individual cards themselves. I mean, unless they drop in price, because right now, what is this guy going for, like 10 bucks at least? And the 12k attackers are going for like $5-6 bucks. And each of them are needed for the decks. You know, I get my decks for, let's say, 17, 15 around here. Though there are places that have them lower as well. And, you know, you need 4 of these, or you, right now, if you're running Eradicators, you probably should have 4 of these. And then you definitely want 4 of the 12k attackers, so why would you not just get the trial decks? I mean, you're going to need 1 at least to get all the things to get you started, but main reason I ended up getting 4 of these, I wasn't going to run them, but there's a card called Devouring Sword Dragon Reverse, and he is really good with this. I love cross break rides. I'm probably going to run Descendant, honestly, but this would be a cool, like, off deck, because I will be getting a case of set 10. I think most people, if you can afford a case of set 10, if you don't get one, you're kind of crazy or not playing one of those clans. You know, my apologies, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's a really good idea to get a case or a playset of set 10 if you play any of the clans there, or for any of the clans you play there. Most day. Then, of course, finally, I run Eradicator Sparkhorn Dragon. He's pretty cool. What sucks with him is, if you ride Valiant Sword, he's not as useful. I mean, then you have like a 15k attacker every turn at that point, but and with just Valiant Sword, a swing 25 after the break ride. But his strength lies in early game pressure. When he hits, Counterblast 1 Eradicator, and your opponent has to kill one of their rear guards. They choose though. That's the Kavat. I mean, but it's a 1 Counterblast, Eradicator Counterblast, to kill a unit. And that's pretty good. I mean, it's Counterblast 1 essentially to kill a unit, but they choose. But you have to hit, and endgame, this is not going to hit. So this is kind of a win more game card endgame, and early on, it lets you add pressure, kind of like Amber Dragon. It's really good early on. So, you know, it's kind of a drop in the hat. What do you want to ride more? If you ride this, you have a lot of the early game pressure, and you might kill a few units. But if you ride Valiant Sword, you don't have that early game pressure, and he just swings for, what, 13 if they have 3 more damage, and the main reason you'd have him is it's 11k, and that matters. In some games you're going to have to decide, do you want the defense or the offense? So that's kind of what's hard with this deck. As for testing, honestly, I got a new job recently, which I won't really go too much into detail about, but I haven't been able to attend a lot of the big tournaments lately, so I haven't really, I mean, this deck just came out Friday, and was it Sunday right now? So I haven't really tested this deck in the tournament. Through my play testing, it's been doing pretty well. I find that Seishin is only useful toward some decks versus some decks. So, I mean, if you want to use this effect, otherwise the 5k booster, I guess, is pretty nice. But other than that, I've been debating using Valiant Sword with Dungaree even, because he's 11k. And, you know, if you do the effect, you get to kill 2 units, which is pretty cool on the break ride. I don't have any Vermilions, so, but Soul will probably run a variant of this with that, or test it. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to Set 11 to kind of improve on this. Slowly working on my Liberators deck, but I probably will not be the one previewing that. And, you know, test this deck some more, and the one so far I've tested them pretty well, other than me getting Grey Lock, but that's just bad shuffling. Yeah, but otherwise, it's been Ash from Imagineyourgoddess. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.